Welcome back to another episode of WJAG-TV. In this week's episode, we whip our clean mobiles on down to the car and bike show, take a trip downtown to appreciate the meaningful Hot Corner mural, get the inside scoop on the new and improved Patty Hillsman, and we learn what the Fulbright Award is all about. My name is Aaliyah Nowell, and this is WJAG-TV. Hot Corner is the pillar of the African American Business District in Athens, Georgia. It's located off Washington and Hull Street. Broderick Flanagan and Miami-based artist Elo Mercado worked on the memorable mural over the summer. The mural represents Hot Corner and the black businesses that have come through the area. Take a look with Ansley Gunnerman on how the mural came out.
Wake up.
Hot Corner was and is the historic black business district on Washington and Hull Street. At its height in the mid-20th century, there was over 100 black businesses at the Hot Corner intersection and surrounding area.
The Hot Corner was a staple and just a major part of the African American community. So it was their, the heartbeat of their commerce and culture.
Brown's Barber Shop on Hull Street and Wilson's Styling Shop on Hull Street. Those are the only two surviving businesses that operate on what is still Hot Corner.
In a blind process, 45 artists submitted their ideas for the mural along with prior works of art. The judges wanted the mural to reflect and honor those important to Athens' history.
So the mural actually includes two historic figures. In the top left is Mr. Monroe Bowers. Pink was his nickname, Morton. Below him is Homer Wilson.
There are a bunch of entrepreneurs in the mural, like Mr. Wilson, who owns Wilson's Barbershop.
It's important that we honor our roots and understand our history and where we came from. That gives us a better understanding of the present.
Well, if you forget your history, then you don't know what the future might have in store for you. Your history can help you not do some things that was done wrong and create things that can help you along this journey now.
All voices matter, and Hot Corner is still an important part of our history in the city, and it's something that all Athenians should endeavor to better understand.
I don't think people will feel excluded if they understand the history of the United States and how Jim Crow segregation played out. We had to have businesses that serviced our community because other businesses wouldn't service us.
So it's just a reflection of what has been and what can be now.
People from all over Athens can see the mural and feel prideful of the town's rich and extensive history while learning to understand it as well, especially in such a beautiful and public manner.
I hope this mural does become a point of pride for Athens. I think this is already starting conversations about how we should utilize public spaces and, desire for more public art in Athens.
It's a testament to our city and the pride and appreciation they have for the arts.
We can work together and live here together and do great things together.
I hope the mural inspires. I hope the mural brings people together. I hope the mural just reminds people of that history that was almost forgotten for generations to come. I hope it is that thing that kind of helps spark some more preservation of African American history and culture.
And for WJAG-TV, this has been Ansley Gunnerman.
It's just very special to me. I've been on a journey recently learning a lot about the African American history.
Thanks, Ansley. If you're ever downtown just chilling, go check out the Hot Corner mural. The William J. Fulbright Foreign Scholarship Program awards money to teachers to better develop research opportunities for students in the United States. Our very own Kelly Bivins recently won a Fulbright scholarship. Alex Soto and T.K. Mumford can tell us more. Take a look.
Since the program began back in 1946, the J. William Fulbright Foreign Scholarship has been awarded to over 380,000 teachers, students, artists, scientists, and professionals. And now, Kelly Bivins.
I first learned about the Fulbright years ago, and I thought it was a really prestigious honor. And I really wanted the whole world to know about all the good things that are happening here, because I'm so proud of the teachers and the work and the students. And everything that is happening right here needs to be happening on a global level.
She had told me that she applied. She told me last summer, I think. And she applies for a lot of grants, and she's gotten a lot of grants. So, but this was big.
For me, it's a big deal. I'm the first one in my family to go to college. So having been a first-generation college student, I went through all of those barriers, and am happy with having gone this far in college, but I wanted to go a little further and see if I could try for this Fulbright. Not so much for me, but really for everything that we're doing here in Athens.
Bivins first learned of the Fulbright Scholarship while in college, where she applied. Although she didn't receive the scholarship, that didn't deter her from trying again.
Cedar is my favorite place to be. Other than my family, of course, I love to be with my family, but everything that we have here at Cedar is representative of our whole world. And we have the beginnings and the makings and the possibilities to make our world incredibly great. And we already have that here at Cedar. And I want the whole world to see how awesome our students are. And I also want to prepare our students for jobs in the green industry in the future.
Bivins believes that the environmental stewardship is a big part of the Athens community. She hopes that Cedar Shoals will be the forerunners of the Clark County School District.
I helped her a lot to learn about sustainability and some of the issues that we have connecting the people in our community with good food.
I really feel strongly about our environment and teaching what's called environmental stewardship. We are in charge of this planet, and we're not doing a good job of it. So I would love to see our schools here in Athens become the world leaders for having green school education. So the application process, I began, I believe it was in January. I started looking at the essay questions and started thinking about it. And the questions were really personal, but also they made me reflect on what we already have here at Cedar. And it was just a moment sitting down, documenting all the wonderful things we have at Cedar. And then I waited. And then I finally learned at the end of July that I would be going. I didn't get a car, and they didn't give me a whole bunch of money or a trip to Disney World, but I'm pretty excited about what I do get to do, which is travel abroad to learn more about global education.
Without knowledge of how her day-to-day classes will be affected, Bivins is still optimistic that she can incorporate what she learns throughout the year.
So beginning in September, I get to go to school. I take an online class with the other people who've also been awarded the Fulbright, and we come together online, virtually, to learn more about global education. We learn about what's already happening in the global education world, and how can we become better global educators. I would hope to get our whole school board and our superintendent on board with us becoming a green district, because the students here are passionate about the environment, and they're passionate about that they are global citizens already. And so Athens Clark County already has a sustainability plan, so I would like to see our school district also adopt that sustainability plan and become more green.
Well, I couldn't think of a better person to receive it. I know that she's going to do great things she's going to use her scholarship well, and she's going to do great things with it. And in turn, that will have a great impact, a positive impact on our students and our community.
This has been TK Mumford from WJAG-TV, signing off.
If you see Mrs. Bivins around campus, please congratulate her on the accomplishment. Hot rides, hot food, and hot weather are all great factors for an awesome community event. On August 24th, the Cedar Shoals volleyball team hosted the annual Car and Bike Show, which not only raised community awareness, but raised money for the volleyball team as well. Take a ride with Oliver Nussel to see what it's all about.
After a successful first year, the Hot Riders of Tomorrow Car and Bike Show came back with a bang. After doubling attendance and participants, the Hot Riders raised substantially more for their program than last year's show. This year's show, there were some new and some returning faces, including some Cedar alumni.
I played football here at Cedar Shoals in the first First year they had a football team here. We didn't even have a stadium. We had to play at Death Valley over at Clark Central. So yeah, anything to raise money for children, I think is a real good thing. This is a 08 Shelby GT 500 Mustang. It came stock with 500 horsepower. It's had a little work done to it. It's got dynoed at 648 horsepower. And I lost a good friend, and in his will, I inherited this car. I would rather have my friend back, but the one thing he told his family was that he wanted me to show the car and keep it clean. So that's why I come to shows, and that's why I keep it clean. Anybody today that can work on a car is amazing talent, because if you look at this car, all I can do is check the oil in it. I can't work on anything in this car other than change a flat tire. Oh yeah, I think more people ought to get into it. I think it's going to be a booming industry.
It's a 1954 Chevrolet pickup. It sits on an S10 frame, and it's on air ride, and then it's got a 350 motor and a 700 R4 transmission. I actually bought it, was already painted, and I actually bought it from a place in Indiana. It's Gnawbone, Indiana. You can make a good living working in trades. I did it all my life, and I'm retired now, but you can make a good living at it. I took automotive vocational training in high school myself, way back in the 70s, so yeah, it's very important.
The Auto Tech program at Cedar is a unique one, as it is the only program of its kind in the area. Through the program, students learn a variety of automotive skills that most can't learn anywhere else.
Well, we teach skills that students can use for a lifetime. The skills they learn here can be used to get a really good high-paying job in the automotive industry. And right now, the automotive industries are really, really needing employees.
So Auto Tech sort of, it's a very hands-on class, so I think it certainly helps with lots of problem-solving skills.
It's like an alternative, like escape, cause a lot of my classes be boring and stressful, so I need a class just to relax and kick back and just be myself a little bit. And in this class, I could do that.
We also teach soft skills, problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills. All these things are absolutely character-building traits.
There's some times when you run into a problem and it's really frustrating to get something loose or just try and figure out what it is.
It just made me a little bit more mature, because when you come in this class, you got to be very mature, because you're going to be working on people's cars and you can't really mess up because it's like a job site. So this class, it teaches you a trade that you could potentially use.
Unfortunately, a lot of high schools today are not teaching trade skills, automotive, construction, engineering, welding, things like that. These are skills that are badly needed in today's industries, and I'm just glad to be here at Cedar teaching automotive.
This has been Oliver for WJAG-TV News.
Wow, those were some sick rides. Stay tuned for next year's Car and Bike Show. Some may have called it Patty Hillsman. Some may have just called it Hillsman. But to all, it's a big part of the Athens community. As you all know, Hillsman is now new and improved. A safe space for kids to start a new learning experience. Take a trip around the block with Alex Soto and Sue for the inside scoop on the new 2-story building.
On August 26th, Hillsman teachers and students finally moved into the new building.
I think we have a lot more opportunities for unique learning experiences with this building.
It's magnificent, it's gigantic, there's lots of space and natural light.
It's a lot bigger, it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot prettier.
I think just physically it's a space that kids will feel more comfortable in.
So we're all looking forward to this moving to the new building.
I'm excited. I hope people come and take a look at our building over the school year.
With the upcoming health clinic at Hillsman, the principal and staff are excited and ready to share with the public.
It will ideally be used to meet the holistic needs of our students. It is a phenomenal plan. And so for some of the things that we struggle with, we now have a facility that can help us with that missing piece in terms of our puzzle.
As the school year continues on, the gray walls that were shown during the open house will be filled with Panther Pride.
We're going to be working with our SILT team to come up with a plan to kind of bring the walls to life. So we're going to apply for a grant, so we're going to be applying for some monies to help with decor and those kind of things. And we are working together as a team to make sure that we meet the needs of our students. They're all about making sure that we help our students maximize their potential.
As Hills Fest is around the corner, parents, teachers, and students come together to learn more about each other.
October 5th is going to be our Hill Fest.
It'll be more of a block party feel, especially this year, since it's not going to be as much, open house time because kids will have been in the building. They'll kind of know the routines and rituals.
People have an opportunity to ask questions to who they need to ask questions to.
Hillsman is an awesome place to be.
WJAG-TV, this is Siwa Danmi signing out.
Now the sports!
Welcome to WJAG-TV Sports News. The softball team has played 7 games so far this season and are 2-5. With new head coach Brittany Ritter, the team's morale remains high.
Stop 10 ground balls, let fly past me, at least. I think my team value most about me is I'm just there for everybody. Like, I try to be, or I make sure that if they don't have this, that I will bring it, because most of the time our girls do not bring their socks, so I make sure that I bring extras for them. The bond that we have, even though the sophomores, we have a really young team, so the sophomores are the oldest ones on the team, but we have a lot of young girls that are 8th graders, and they're all there for each other. So if I'm down, they pick me up, and if they're down, I'm pick them up. So I like that. A lot of girls, they kind of quit this year because there were some things that they didn't like, but we worked on it as a team, and stopped all the things that was happening. So really, no, I don't see any negatives. We really didn't win that many games. I'm gonna be real with you, we didn't. But I was so close with the girls on the team. They immediately became my sisters. That's why I wanted to keep going out there. And it's really boring playing a sport when you don't have that bond with somebody on the team. But we had that bond with each other, the whole team, and it made me want to keep coming out. We didn't have the best turnouts, and we wasn't communicating when we needed to be. We wasn't backing each other up when we needed to be because we just didn't have that bond, what I'm saying? And we didn't have that bond, and it just wasn't something that you want to do, because with the sophomores, we had a lot of young girls, so they was coming up, they didn't really know us. So they didn't just respond to things as fast as they did. So it kind of played out in the games, and it just wasn't well. But now, since we have been doing bonding and stuff, our games have been going much better, and they're actually fun,
The Lady Jags volleyball team is 2-7, and after the departure of previous head coach Dr. Perez, the team continues to work hard on bettering their relationships on the court.
Our last game we played was Athens Christian, and they're a harder team than Putnam, so the fact that we won against Putnam once and then we lost them the second round, and then having a harder team is hey, we have to be aware.
What do you personally think that your team needs to work on?
I would say communication, because you can never have too much communication in volleyball. Also being aware, knowing where the ball is, knowing your position, and serves.
Well, one thing that's really hard to do in volleyball, I feel is communication. It's really hard to tell somebody that you can get the ball, and then they think they're gonna get the ball too, but nobody says who's gonna get it, and then you end up dropping the ball, and then the other team has a point already. If they lose, they can just see what they can do, what they could have done better, and then when they win, or if they win, they could just see how they can keep that thing going.
We worked on a lot of down balls, it's when you get real low, and they come super fast instead of a free ball, which you'll push over. Since y'all don't play, I'll tell y'all you push it over, which called a set. So a lot of strategy we're working on will be to be more aware.
I think they did good, but it's a lot of times where people weren't confident and maybe their serves, or they weren't confident that they weren't going to get the ball, so they kind of were depending on somebody else to get it.
Last Friday, the Cedar Shoals football team traveled to Winder Barrow to face off with the Bulldogs. Through an eventful 4-overtime game, Cedar Shoals came out on top, 49-43.
This past Friday, Cedar Shoals played their second game of the season against Winder Barrow High School. The game went to the 4th overtime, in which Cedar grasped the win with a winning touchdown by sophomore Jadavian Colbert, winning 49-43 off a Bulldog fumble.
Well, we definitely came out flat. I think we got there a little late, and we didn't adjust to that
schedule very well as far as getting ourselves mentally ready to go. And I think we kind of, that first series that came down and kind of gave it to us, and we didn't respond well. So it took us about a half to really get our juices flowing, if you will. We made a couple adjustments, offensively and defensively, really, second half, and then they just, we played a little more intensity, a little more fire. Pretty good for a sophomore. He's still developing. He's going to stay healthy. We try to balance him out with him and with Jalen rushing the ball a little bit. Try to get the ball to some other guys, but we always going to try to establish that run first, and then everything else falls off that. This is his third year in the offense, so he kind of understands a lot of the concepts. Yeah, and then when you run the ball well, you get more favorable coverages. As far as it's easy to throw the ball. They get single high coverage and get a lot of one-on-one matchups. Raquel Willingham caught a couple big balls for us, and when people are open like that, it's a little easier to throw it to him. He took a knee in the thigh, so the old Charlie horse, if you will. Yeah. So he's sore, and rightfully so, but he'll be all right. He'll work through it. But what he's doing right now, lifting those weights. He's got to continue to lift weights and lift every day. With a purpose, got to stay healthy that way and just keep getting better. He's doing a good job of understanding the concepts or the schemes, what we're trying to do, and offensive line is really playing well in spots.
This Friday, the Jaguars take on the Greenbrier Wolves at home at 7:30.
Right now they're 0-1. They lost to Statesboro last week. They're very well coached. They gave us all we wanted last year over at Greenbrier. We expect them to come in and regroup, and then I expect them to come play well and have a good game plan against us.
Come out to the game this Friday as the Jaguars play Greenbrier High School, or watch on bit.ly JAG Sports. Thanks for watching WJAG-TV Sports News. Back to the studio.
Well, that concludes this week's school news. We'll be back in 2 weeks with all new stories about Cedar Shoals Jaguars and Eastside community. Again, I'm Aaliyah Nowell, and this is WJAG-TV with your school news.